You know what I haven't done in a minute? I haven't made a financially irresponsible decision, so today we may or may not just be making one. And it may or may not involve that orange motorcycle back there, because I don't really want to fix it. This right here is my KTM 690 Enduro R. I've had it for a few years, but I've barely put 1,000 miles on it. People other than me have actually been riding this more than I have, because I just haven't had time to get it off-road. And I did buy that DRZ back there, so it's proving a little bit more reliable than the KTM. Actually, that's a lie. This KTM is completely fine. It's all right on the road. When you're just cruising, it's able to cool itself just fine. It's just because of the emissions garbage that's on here that it's running just too freaking hot, and I don't have the time to fix it. And I need a bike that can actually do long miles, and I think I found one, so let's have some fun. We gotta start by cleaning this bad boy up though. While I clean up this bike, let me tell you my checklist for getting the most cash out of a motorcycle when I go to sell it. First, clean it. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but trust me, you'll add anywhere from $500 to $1,000 to your estimate by not showing off a grimy motorcycle. Even if it doesn't increase the value of the first quote, you get more room to argue. If you want the bike to look even better, hit it with some SC1. Second, collect the stock parts. You might like your Amazon Basics exhaust, and maybe a private buyer would too, but I promise you the dealer doesn't. It's always a good habit to keep any takeoffs organized. Again, it may not add value, but it'll keep them from lowballing you. Third, fix stuff. If your tires are a few years old or close to the wear bars, buying and installing a fresh set will help you get the most for your bike. In my case, I had a busted blinker that needs fixing. Alright, you'll have to forgive a little bit of noise because we're literally right on the highway. We're here at TJ's because I actually have a blinker situation. Whoops. Just dropped the fresh brand new one that I had to buy. I've got a blinker situation on the bike. As you can see, there's a wee tad bit of duct tape on there because the seat came undone, and it's more of a pain in the ass to fix it. This was like 30 bucks, so we're gonna slap the new one on there because nobody wants to buy a bike with duct tape on it, so let's get this thing fixed. It's nice too because on the Enduro, this stuff is really easy to get to, so all you gotta do is just feed it through there, and job done. And then you just put one cover back on and it's fixed. Believe it or not, the KTM's kind of easy to work on. Voila, job done. All right, now we're gonna head over to dealership number 1, which is Ride Now Austin, which is right over that bridge back there. They've got one Super Duke EVO, but while we're here, why don't we take a look at option number 2. This right here is option number 1. This thing right here is $1,000 more. It's got the bags and it has that. That is the full titanium Acra system, which is, I think it's like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 worth of exhaust on there, plus the tune that needs to go on it. And it's already got quad lock gear set up, though they're using the USB port, which is the lazy way to do it. I would swap this out for one that's hardwired on the bike so I could use the USB port for something else. However, anybody who's purchased a KTM knows you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 extra horsepower on this thing because it's got 4 pieces of orange bling. Now let's go see a different man about a different horse. While I fast travel from dealership to dealership, allow me to take a second to evangelize about one of my favorite sponsors, QuadLock. You've already seen that the Duke has one of their phone mounts on there because only the wisest choose QuadLock for its phone handling abilities. Obviously, they have cases to protect your phone when you drop it because it's not if, it's when. But they also have a suite of accessories to go with it, from their wireless chargers to their mag wallet. I recently added their desktop charger to my editing station so I can watch YouTube videos while I'm allegedly working. But here's the most important thing for any KTM owner out there, and the rest of you won't understand this. They have orange mag rings. That's an extra free horsepower for your bike right there, so don't leave any power on the table. Click that link down in the description below and check out everything that QuadLock has to offer. And here we are at dealer number 2. They just came out and looked over the 690 here, so we're gonna run some numbers and see what it looks like. Honestly, either way, I'm kind of just in Camp Super Duke at this point, so bug it, but you know, still would be nice to get the best possible deal, and it's always nice to have two dealers going against each other. It's just good for negotiation. So now I'm gonna wander around and touch and poke and prod some motorcycles because I got nothing better to do. This right here, not the dual sport version, but a DRZ may be the next giveaway bike we do. I may look into seeing if I can get the SM because I've got my DRZ back home, which I'm still working on, but it'd be nice to throw the Supermoto up against the old one and see how it is, because originally I had poo-pooed this motorcycle, but you know, fuel injected, no carburetor silliness to deal with, should be a lot easier to maintain, and I mean, they did work up the motor, so could be fun, and I think people want to see more new bikes on the channel, so why not try the new DRZ? I don't know if it's going to show up on camera, but Yamaha always does the really cool colorways on the little bike. The R3's like pearl flaky white with the blue and the purple. I love that colorway. They need to put that on the bigger bikes. So here's some FTR that I found in here. Can anybody identify that pipe, or is that the weapons grade Chinesium that I think that it is? Because that looks like just a slip-on, because they still got the bread box, but that is the most I came from Amazon exhaust I think I've ever seen in my entire life. If you've got an FTR, you can afford a nicer pipe. Why? Why?
6.5 hours later.
Alrighty, folks, we got them preliminary numbers. Well, that's the gasket for the VMAX. We've got the preliminary numbers back from Ride Now, and they're a little iffy. Looking like the out the door is 11.338.58. That is yikes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna load the bike back up. I was gonna do this anyway. Load the bike back up, go over to TJ's tomorrow when their sales manager's back in, see what they're willing to do for me, and see where we're going, because like I said earlier, that bike is on consignment, and the guy who got it on consignment has some iffy numbers. And if anybody can buy a KTM and sell it for the right price, it's a KTM dealership. Ride Now is a little bit cagey because of the KTM drama, which, I mean, KTM's not going anywhere. They've just got bought out by Bajaj, so that's an iffy statement by me, because I follow them motorcycle news. So let's load up and pick this up again tomorrow, where we deal with another sales manager.
Day 2.
Alrighty, folks, welcome to day 2, and we're back out front of TJ's here, and I got the Enduro ready to go. I also have my paperwork from yesterday, because when you're trying to get two dealers to go against each other, always handy to have the paperwork. So let's head in and see what we can't make happen. It's always funny seeing how different a KTM dealership is from just about anywhere else, because it's nothing but dual sports enduros, man. They got a few like sport bikes over by the door, and then they've got some Royal Enfields and Keyways over there. But every single KTM dealership I've ever walked into has basically just been a love letter to dual sports, enduros, MX, and trail bikes. It's pretty wild. I can't really think of another brand that does this kind of thing. But also, let's be real. One's orange, one's blue, and one's red. And I think that therein lies one of KTM's biggest problems. So here's a decent example of what I'm talking about when it comes to all of these bikes being pretty darn similar. This is the Gas Enduro R, the ES 700. Same motor, very much the same exhaust system, same intake, same chassis, except this one's red. But you can tell there are some differences here. I mean, there's no fins and stuff. The plastics just don't feel as nice. This is just one piece instead of two pieces. It does look like the tank is just a wee tad bit smaller, maybe. But honestly, the fit and finish on the Gas is just a little less lovely than on the KTM. You can just sort of tell that this is the entry SKU versus the Husky, which is supposed to be the luxury SKU, and then the KTM, which is the race SKU.
2 hours later.
Alrighty, folks, this was bike number 2 from yesterday, and as you can see, we are currently saddled up to give this thing a quick little test ride. I always like to do a test ride even on a machine that I know is going to be fine, just because. So let's fire this thing up. I actually haven't ridden a modern Super Duke. So, how the fuck do I turn it on? Do I have the key? Did he give it to me? Yes, I do. Okay. Ah, it's a key fob. Fuck. Fucking hate key fob bikes. Am I in Egypt? There it goes. Ready to race. Now, I did fire it up a little bit earlier. Not a lot of heat in the motor, so. You know, that full system, that's not as loud as I thought it was going to be. It is loud, don't get me wrong, but it isn't as loud as I thought it was going to be. Man, that sounds good. That's $3,000 worth of exhaust behind me, by the way. A full system Acura. It is also worth pointing out that we are on a brand new rear tire on one of the torquiest motorcycles on the planet. So we're going to be taking it just a wee tad easy here. Holy shit, this is nice. This is such a nice bike. Now, I do have some advice for a test ride, and the first is don't get sucked into the bike's first impression. Big splashy motorcycles like the Super Duke tend to wow you, but this is a recon mission. Especially with a used bike, you need to experiment with the slow speed stuff, first and second gear specifically. Now, there's a reason why I like to do as much of a slow speed loop as I can on these bikes, especially something that's been run for a long time and something that's seen a lot of miles and also has a big free-flowing exhaust like this. If it's got a problem, that problem is going to show up really early on in the power band, right? If there's something wrong with this thing, you're going to feel it really low, right? So now we're down at about 2,500 RPM at neutral throttle, and it is still buttery smooth. There's not a lot of herkity-jerkityness going on. This is what I wanted to see out of this bike, and it's one of the things I'm always looking for. Like, there was a little on-off there, but it's not bad, man. It's really not. Whoa. That is a staggering amount of power. Oh, that's another one where I'm just like, you know what? We're just going to treat this throttle with maximum respect because, yeah, it needs it. Once you get done with that, get the bike up in the gears a little bit. Make sure that things like the quick shifter works right and swapping modes are working properly and that it feels smooth. Some people might think that a dealer bike means that it's totally fine and gets checked out, and usually that's true, but having purchased well over a dozen bikes from dealerships, they don't catch everything. This is the most fucking badass motorcycle I've ever sat on. It's insane how good this is. Holy shit. Holy fuck, is this one of the greatest hypernakeds on the planet. Oh, that sound is so good too. Oh yes, you're coming home with me. Alrighty people, we just got back and I'm not sure it came through well enough in the video, but that thing's incredible. It's seriously impressive what KTM managed to make a hyper naked feel like, because usually you ride a bike like that and you're like, it's gonna rip my arms off and beat me to death with them, and it will if you ask it to, But otherwise, it's just like, nah, man, let's go have some fun. Let's go cruise. It is the most livable 180 horsepower I've ever felt. Unbelievable. So, and that exhaust, I'm so glad somebody spent the $3,000 on it. It's great that I don't have to, because A, the titanium looks amazing, and B, it sounds really good. There are some problems though. So first and foremost, Chinesium levers. Those need to go right into the fuck it bucket the second I get home, because that is no bueno. You don't put that on a $20,000 motorcycle, nor do you put the Amazon special Fenrir CRG knockoffs. You just get the actual CRGs, man. Like, they're expensive, but they're fucking worth it. And then, I didn't notice this before, but where are my blinkers? Right there. So, me and the guy I was riding with, we were looking at this, and we were basically saying, whoever owned that previously, no offense, but you were just a little bit of a goober. Just a bit. I mean, you got the right exhaust at least, so. But yeah, let's go see if we can do some paperwork, shall we? Something appropriate about standing amongst all of these dirt bikes with a Monster Energy, but it's hot as balls outside. And I need a little bit of a celebration because we're moving forward with that Super Duke, so it's coming home with me.
One eternity later.
Roughly 1 gazillion signatures later, got both keys. The interesting thing, you get one key fob with the 1290, and then you get the original key blank, which I don't think you can actually use on the bike because I didn't spot anywhere to put a key, so odd. Now we gotta go take a photo by the door so that they can put it up on their Instagram, I assume. And then I need to load it up with the bad shoulder, so I'm gonna ask for some help because that bike is heavier than the 690, so let's go be a model for Instagram. And just like that, we're back here in the garage with the Super Duke. And as you can see, things are already a little bit different on it than when I test rode it, because things are a little bit odd with this motorcycle in general. It has an alarm system built into it, which I'm thinking about removing because I live in a garage. Or, well, I don't live in the garage. The bike lives in a garage. I also don't have the bags on here because the bags were hard mounted, even though they're supposed to be removable. I did some digging, and it turns out that the bags themselves, I think the actual plastic hooks that were meant to hook onto this plate here were broken. So I decided to just replace the bags. The old ones were torn up anyway. But you heard me say it earlier in the video, the main reason why I purchased this Super Duke right here is so that I could do big miles. One of the things that you guys told me you wanted to see more was travel content. And I wanted to give you some more of that, but I also wanted to do it on a bike that's not perhaps the most conventional travel bike, mostly because I think you can do big miles on just about anything. Obviously, there's gonna be plenty of reviews and comparisons coming, and probably some garage stuff on this bike too, because there is plenty that I need to go in and tweak and change on this motorcycle. So stay tuned for that, and a big shout out to Quadlock for supporting this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later.